It's Adam with Errata Non Grata, and I saw this pop up on Saturday, and I meant to get to it then, but I just didn't have the time, as is so often the case anymore. But I think I've mentioned this on some other videos. I know I definitely showed a game called Livewire on the video about the Atari Jaguar graphics, which I'll put a link to that up above. But Livewire was a game that was in development back in 1996, and it was being created on an Atari Falcon, or using several Atari Falcons, by a company called Black Scorpion Software. Now, where I really jumped into the Jag scene back in like 97, 98, around there, I remember reading about this, but it was one of those things that just kind of came and went, disappeared. I know Carl Forehand from Songbird Productions had gotten a hold of the code for it, or something along those lines, like a flash cart, but there was a problem in the transfer process, and it was believed to have been completely lost. So I'm not sure what this, how this is bringing it back, but it mentions, so this video that we're going to watch here, which some of you have probably already seen, is from Reboot, who has been doing a fantastic job at keeping the Jaguar scene alive and releasing a lot of different games. And Jumping at Shadows is one of those titles that I don't believe that's been released yet, but it's up and coming. But it mentions in the description here, with the blessing, support, and assistance of DML and artwork from William Thorup, Reboot Games is extremely excited to announce that Livewire Archival Project will be released in the Reboot mini format during Q1 2025, which, from what little I read over on Atari Age, that just means it's released as a cartridge, I guess as a loose cartridge, but it will be made available. And as this right here says, it's been approved for archival purposes by the Jaguar Game Preservation Authority, and then it's showing this here with music and these graphics. Now, again, this is something that really, back in the day of, like I said, I got into the Jaguar scene about 1997, which was too late to really help the Jaguar or anything. It was considered dead, although it did get revived thanks to Telegames and Songbird for a brief time, 98 through 2000 there. But I guess I was wanting to get to this too, where it mentioned museum exhibit. Disbelievers require a responsible adult to hold their hands, and strong nostalgic vibes and thoughts of what if this had been released in the day. And so what's impressive about this game is, again, it plays to the Jaguar's strengths. And now I guess what it's doing here in the 2.5D realm is, you can maybe call it cheating, as two parallaxed layers of what I assume, I don't know if this is supposed to be a texture or just sprites. I mean, maybe it's a texture, but you have your top layer, and then parallax down below is a bottom layer, but in between them connecting are flat shaded polygons, but it has other look to be textures and such that you can go into, and then the other graphics, the enemies and the player ship shots and all that, are pre-rendered sprites and look really nice. But I was trying to find a page, there was an old page that talked about Livewire back when it was still in development, and it might have been on Atari HQ, I can't remember where it was exactly, but it was talking up all the different effects and like how many pixels, like these pixel explosions, which are a little bit like what you would come across in Tempest, with a lot of little pixels being thrown all over the place, like that and such. And so yeah, it's exciting. This is definitely something I'm gonna grab, because this is one of those holy grails where I thought it had been lost, like Fear had been lost, PHEAR, which actually ended up becoming Tetrasphere on the Nintendo 64, but it started off as a Jaguar game first, but there's still not been any discovery of anything like code to Fear, and so that's assumed to have been lost as well. But seeing this, and I've already seen plenty of people talking about like, wow, could this be Grand Theft Auto 1 on the Jaguar? And I think it could. And I've seen mentions of other games, but it's like, yeah, there's if this was, say, an engine, then you could do a bunch of different interesting game types. And it's like with this one, the one thing that I guess bugs me a little bit is that there's no way to fire up and down. It's like I hope there's like a power up or something that gives you side shots as well. And it seems like it'd be nice where it has all these little kind of alcoves there on the sides where enemies are hiding, but sometimes it looks like there are passageways that you can go through. It'd be nice if maybe the texture up top became transparent so you could see through that, or at least draw an outline of your ship so that you could kind of see through that. But still don't know what to fully expect out of this, where it's talking about an archival project. I kind of wonder if just found something of what it existed and are going to release that as opposed to a completely finished product. I mean, it does seem like the game got pretty far along, but I can't recall exactly what the percentage was, if it was 70%, 80, 90% done, what it might have been. But still, this showed that the Jaguar could do more than what the haters often claimed. And it's smart use of 3D polygons. I mean, sure, flat shaded polygons were pretty passe even by '94, but the way that it's done here with blending textures and flat shaded seems to be a great way that still works on the Jaguar, that it can run smoothly. As if I'm also recalling correctly, this game was supposed to be running at 50 frames a second for PAL, 60 frames a second for NTSC, and something else that the Jaguar didn't have too much of. But is this something you're interested in? Are you going to grab one if when they become available? I guess it depends on the price too. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll catch you on the next video.